The Nampo Harvest, one of the largest agricultural shows in the Southern Hemisphere, is now on its third day. The significant event, hosted annually by Grain SA, is taking place in Bothaville in the Free State, drawing over 80,000 visitors and featuring more than 750 exhibitors. Today, Deputy President Paul Mashatile is expected to attend and engage with the agricultural sector. This follows President Cyril Ramaphosa's visit on Tuesday, where he engaged with some of the farmers. Let's discuss some of the highlights from the event and the state of the agricultural sector. We're joined by Grain SA chairperson Richard Krige. Richard, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it this morning. Let's talk about the biggest themes at this year's exhibition.
Yeah, good morning and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. Just a correction on the numbers you gave. We've actually got 900 exhibitors this year.
Oh, wow.
And the event is growing and the quality of the event is growing, and it's really with a theme where the world meet people in agriculture and people in agricultural the world. This has really been an event and people to discuss the problems in agriculture, grow their networks, and really the idea is to bring new technologies to farmers and to the industry and showcase them, but also an opportunity for everybody to network. And a lot of discussions, etc., happening is how we advance the sector, ensure sustainability and profitability in the long term. And agriculture really has the ability to kickstart the economy. And we're looking forward to take its rightful place going forward.
Yeah, that's going to be certainly important. You made note of technology as being a key proponent or new technologies in the sector. How do you balance the two between growing technologies in the sector and ensuring that your workforce is still looked after and not negated? I mean, what are some of the exhibitors, what are some of the people in this space then saying?
So when we really talk about technologies, we need to divide it up into a couple of categories. Obviously, the one is technologies with regards to implements and mechanization, data management systems, and the use of big data to advance, production and profitability. But then as well, we talk about seed tech and those innovations, new breeding technologies, which we really need to ensure that we can produce grain cheaply and profitably at the same time and ensure food sustainability for the country. And one of the big challenges also accessibility to all the residents of the country, that not only is food affordable, but that it's accessible. And when we talk about tech, we kind of encompass all these ideas, and that's the idea. Obviously, growing the sector and looking at the value chain and the expansion of the value chain, that's where a lot of labor can be taken up and a lot of jobs can be created. If we think about imports of, for example, chicken, we as grain farmers would like to see the chicken industry growing, that we can supply them grains and feedstock, and that sector can grow. And we can stop importing chicken and even look at exporting and processing, etc., on the way forward.
Yeah, one also has to think about alternative markets then, if you will, here, Richard, and also considering the state of AGOA and how that may be null and void with all the tariffs at play in this situation. What does that focus on alternative markets look like right now?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of work and thought and discussion on that, and the effects of AGOA should we not be included in that trade agreement anymore. But certainly access to markets is a big part, not only for our grains, but for the whole agricultural cluster. Obviously, with the tariff discussions, etc., being imposed on South Africa, there are a lot of our fellow farmers and other commodities that are also here at Nampo, and the discussions are open as to the effect with about 6% of our agricultural produce being exported to the US. These are conversations that are taking place, and I think a lot of discussions as well with government officials, the relevant people. And it's been wonderful to receive the president here on Tuesday, as you mentioned in the introduction. And these conversations will continue today with the deputy president as well as the Minister of Agriculture who will be in attendance. And then also Minister McPherson will also be attending the show, and there are various engagements to discuss infrastructure, ports, etc., development, ensuring that we have the ability to export and the effects of these trade agreements on production and removing surpluses out of the market.
Yeah. Did President Cyril Ramaphosa allay fears within the sector and the industry, whether it be by way of things of persecution, continued support for the industry, etc.?
As Grain SA leadership, we had meaningful discussions with him, and we welcomed this. It was an unofficial visit, and we could spend some time and speak to. And the key areas there was really the technology, be it seed innovations, rural safety and security. We spent a lot of time on that. This is obviously foremost in every farmer in this country's mind, irrespective of color or creed. And we also spoke about access to markets and the expansion of the industry and the support of government. Infrastructure, ports also was discussed, and we will continue this discussion today with the various people attending the show and the Deputy President and the ministers attending.
Yeah, because I suppose with such high-profile names attending, it's the most opportune time to lay bare all the issues that have been in play, with expropriation being a key part of the conversations we've seen so far. A few people having left the country dealing with persecution and worried about land expropriation. And on the other side, farm workers saying that perhaps their targeting has been at play here. Those alleged persecutions, those sentiments by private farmers with regards to everything that is going on, what has that been like then this year?
You know, it's wonderful to see on Nampo Park, as it would be, people sit in the traffic for an hour and a half to get into the park. There's a wonderful vibe on the park and a strong positivity. I think we realize what the problems are, and they're deeply concerning to all farmers. And I think people in South Africa, crime is not only isolated to farmers. I think the country as a whole is tired of the criminality in this country and the situation. We need to resolve that. We need to resolve the unemployment levels in this country and focus and work together as a country and a populace with government to find the solutions and resolve these issues and take this wonderful country of ours forward. The positivity that I referred to, yes, these are deep concerning issues and we can't underplay them. But I think there's a willingness for the people that are in this country to resolve them and find solutions and take hands with government and fix this wonderful country of ours.
1,000 exhibitors next year, is that the plan?
I think we want to consolidate and ensure that there's quality exhibitors.
Yeah.
There's a long waiting list to get into Nampo. This is a premium event. It's the biggest agricultural show in the Southern Hemisphere. And this is really a startup ground for meaningful relationships between people involved in agriculture and a wonderful platform for agriculture as a whole, where we bring these tech and these solutions to farmers, specifically grain farmers. The focus is that. Grain SA is a grain producers organization that puts on this event. But yes, let's see where we take it, but certainly the focus is on quality more than quantity.
A very important sector in South Africa's economy, then one that continues to also grow and aid South Africans as well, whether it be in the form of employment or growth and the like, as well as food security. Richard Krige, appreciate the time. Thank you so much for joining us. Grain SA chairperson there as we talk about Nampo Harvest Day.